King Hyperion, the mighty alien who took the human name Mark Milton, the madman who wanted to rule the entire universe. When he achieved his goal, Hyperion proclaimed himself a god emperor of Earth. He became a member of the Weapon X team, whose fellow members are the leader Gambit, an alien symbiote known as the Spider, Storm, Miss Marvel, Colossus, and the Vision. His first mission was to seek out and kill the 10 remaining mutants on an Earth of an alternate reality. Having become immediately attracted to him from the moment he had joined the team, Miss Marvel threw herself at Hyperion. He started making love with her only seconds after realizing she was attracted to him. He then discovered that Kitty Pryde was hiding in a closet. He was able to keep Colossus from killing Kitty, who mistakenly thought that this alternate Colossus was the same she loved. When Hyperion decided to take this Earth as his own, Vision tried to stop in his way, but was easily destroyed. Miss Marvel and the Spider became Hyperion's most faithful minions, while Gambit and Colossus decided that it would be best to follow his lead by now. Hyperion then took out the Master Computer Core, which controlled and kept all the Sentinels running, and then killed the United States President Robert Kelly, his Vice President, and General Thunderbolt Ross. Meanwhile, Magneto of this alternate Earth was preparing to destroy the planet by dropping a massive asteroid directly on it. When Forge discovered that there were still mutants and superhumans left on the planet, Magneto and his Brotherhood, including Wolverine, Mystique, Iceman, and Rogue, went to inspect the situation. They came into conflict with Hyperion, who they attempted to kill, but failed miserably in the process. Hyperion killed Wolverine and Mystique, and when Magneto refused to stop the asteroid from crashing, Hyperion made his head implode, leaving him with the problem of stopping the asteroid himself. He came up with a plan to stop the asteroid by having Rogue duplicating his abilities so that together they would have a better chance preventing the asteroid from colliding with Earth. They tried to destroy the asteroid with their heat vision, but only managed to blast off fragments that eventually caused damage to Earth's surface. When Rogue began to feel Hyperion's powers fading away, she tried reaching out to get another boost, but Hyperion refused to let her touch him, and simply abandoned her, where she was burned alive by the flames of the burning asteroid. As expected, the asteroid slammed into Earth and wiped out the entire planet. Kitty Pryde, knowing that Hyperion was going to kill all of the remaining mutants, tried to get Colossus to teleport back down to Earth with her. But before they could reach a teleporter, they were confronted by Hyperion, who entered their base known as the Asteroid M. Colossus, who had fallen in love with this world's Kitty Pryde, refused to let Hyperion kill her and tried taking him out, but Hyperion recovered from Colossus' attack and sent them both flying out into the vacuum of space. He then killed Forge and Quicksilver. Hyperion declared that this world was a lost cause and that they were moving on to the next one. Shortly after defeating Iceman, 2 new Weapon X recruits, an alternate Hulk of Earth 873 and Firestar appeared and joined Weapon X, led by Hyperion, on a manhunt to find Gambit, Storm, and Vanisher, who teleported to another part of the Asteroid M. Vanisher had already died from the wounds Spider had inflicted upon him, and Storm had asked Gambit to end her life, so that Hyperion would not have a chance to get his hands on her. Despite Gambit's reluctance to do so, he granted her wish, and by the time Hyperion found them, Storm was dead. Hyperion and Weapon X continued making their way from one reality to the next, and in each reality, rather than trying to help fix those worlds, Hyperion, Spider, and Miss Marvel attempted to conquer each reality, thus resulting in the death of the heroes of that world. As for Gambit, Hulk, and Firestar, they simply tried to complete the missions so that they could get closer and closer to going home. Gambit, however, began tricking Hyperion into completing the missions for them in order to speed up the process, but Hyperion wasn't easily fooled, and when they arrived on Earth 4400, he immediately turned on Gambit and blasted his arm off in an attempt to take the Talus for himself. For the Hulk, harming Gambit was the last straw. He and Firestar attacked Hyperion, Spider, and Miss Marvel in an attempt to bring them down and end this madness. But Hyperion proved to be too much for the Hulk of Earth 873 to handle, and they were both defeated while Gambit crawled away from the fight and made his way into the sewers. This incident attracted the attention of the heroes of Earth 4400 who tried to stop Hyperion's rampage. Unfortunately, not even the mightiest of heroes were capable of bringing him down, and in only a matter of hours, all of the heroes in New York City were dead. After failing attempts to defeat Hyperion, Gambit and Blink confronted the madman but were not powerful enough to defeat him. But when Hyperion approached Blink and attempted to incinerate her with his heat vision, she used a teleportation crystal to redirect Hyperion's beams into his back. Hyperion collapsed and found that he was unable to move the lower half of his body. Gambit then came up to Hyperion from behind with a magic sword in hand, told Blink to go, charged it up with as much power as he could muster, and drove it into Hyperion's back. The explosion that resulted from Hyperion's death not only wiped out Hyperion and Gambit, but took Miss Marvel with them as well, leaving Hyperion and Weapon X as nothing more than a bad memory. When Holocaust, the son of Apocalypse, was recruited into the Exiles team, he led them to a facility where a shard of the Macran crystal was being held, and by tapping into its power, Holocaust and the Exiles found themselves on a teleportation pad inside a massive crystal palace. After searching around, they discovered that the entire place was being run by a race of insectoids known as the Time Breakers. They were being oppressed by the last person Blink ever thought she would see again, Hyperion. The madman she saw literally explode when Gambit stabbed him with that magical sword. But he was alive again, and in complete control over a facility that would allow him to influence events in any reality. Hyperion proclaimed that every planet Earth and every reality that ever existed would have to get used to calling him a god. This enraged Holocaust, who attacked Hyperion, but his attack barely affected the madman who retaliated, and easily killed Holocaust and absorbed his life force by snorting it up through his nose. Meanwhile, one of the Time Breaker workers had freed the mutant known as Beak and told him that he was destined to defeat Hyperion. Beak, who was nowhere near Hyperion's level of power, knew he had no chance whatsoever to defeat Hyperion. He, however, stumbled upon screens that looked into other realities, seeking out beings that might be able to defeat Hyperion. He finally appeared with the only two men in the multiverse who might be able to defeat Hyperion. Two other Hyperions. The Earth 712 Hyperion and a blind Hyperion from Earth 5764. King Hyperion fought the other Hyperions in a battle that shook the Crystal Palace to its very core. It seemed that even the combined power of the two Hyperions was not enough to defeat King Hyperion. Blink then teleported the fighters to the desert room, where she used a teleportation crystal to teleport half a ton of sand inside King Hyperion's body, thus leaving him completely open to attack. Finally, the Hyperions managed to beat King Hyperion to near death, but Mimic used the Time Breaker interface to stop the battle, leaving King Hyperion unconscious. When he regained consciousness, King Hyperion found himself imprisoned on Earth 4023. While King Hyperion begged them not to leave him on this Earth, his plea went unheard. Eventually, King Hyperion managed to escape Earth 4023 and made his way to Marvel mainstream continuity Earth 616, where he began his rampage in Uzbekistan and defeated the superheroes team known as the Winter Guard. He then confronted and fought the Blue Marvel, who soundly defeated King Hyperion. King Hyperion then was recruited by the Thunderbolts to help them defending Japan from an attack of giant monsters. Hyperion maintained the deception that he had good intentions until he turned against the Thunderbolts and defeated them one after the other. He then fought Juggernaut in a fierce battle. During the fight, Ghost was able to recapture Songbird's comlink and used it to activate the Thunderbolt's nanite countermeasure, a high dose of radiation to the spine. Hyperion pleaded for them to turn it off. Juggernaut and Moonstone beat the helpless Hyperion, and Man-Thing then burned him with his touch. This battle has been uploaded on Comics Fighters channel. Check out the annotation in the end of the video. So that was all about the evil Superman known as King Hyperion. Hope you liked the video. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and like. Thanks for watching, and have a nice one.